Okay, this is session 3 of Dungeon World, The Bloody Road to Bellet. A quick recap of kind of where we're at and what's going on. Then we're going to introduce a brand new character. And then I'm going to kind of just feel you guys out in terms of where you want to go from here. If you have any flags that you're interested in hitting, we'll talk about that too. But basically, the main mission, of course, is to get a hold of this book, The 10 Hidden Keys. You have a contact or you know someone named Vigrit. One of your contacts in the city, Edric, who is the sort of adopted brother of Rutger, Edric knows that Vigrit stays at an inn called the Flouncy Pony. And so you actually know where to go find Vigrit. That's kind of solved. You just have to go do it. There is another thing we know is that there is an old watchtower in the city. And this old watchtower is thought to be a base or a lair of some sort belonging to a group of people called the Phantom Court. The Phantom Court is a group of assassins that are sort of enemies of Fraser's character Weary, the Shadow Court. And Weary has kind of scoped that tower out. He believes that atop the tower there is a sort of like weapon that the Phantom Court uses, a beast called Ungalion. And he's been scoping that out. He found a way into the tower, like in the upper floors of the tower, a secret way in. And that's kind of what we know. Also, there seems to be some weird like atmospheric activity above the tower. Okay, like there was like kind of a sudden thunderstorm kind of appearing over the tower. It definitely seemed magical in nature. That's something that we know from last time. Isabella is a mage who has big picture, like wants to bring back her lover Logan from the dead, and has expressed an interest in talking to Edric, the character I mentioned earlier, who's Rutger's adopted brother.
Uncle.
Oh, I thought you were the uncle to his daughter. So you're his
he's the uncle. Remember, he's really old.
Okay. So. But he's not your biological uncle though, right?
Correct.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so Edric is maybe allegedly a necromancer, although there's no evidence that he's actually succeeded at that. Isabella thinks that maybe she can work with Edric to resurrect or contact Logan, this person who's close to her who died. So that's kind of where we're at. I think we had all just kind of, I think you were all agreeing to go to the Flouncy Pony, which is the inn. Edric goes there to hang out and drink and play games. He also thinks that Vigrit is staying there. He's indicated as much. So that's kind of like where we're at. We just arrived in Bellet, so you haven't missed too much as far as Bellet goes, Jen. Jen, tell us a little bit about your character. Let's just go ahead and introduce that character.
Well, Sparkles is she's a halfling clown from a tribe of feral clowns that live in the forest outside of Bellet.
Nice.
She, however, is a little less feral than her kin, so has moved to Bellet to perform as a clown in her monkey Yo-Yo. And I feel like she's probably actually just performing at the Flouncing Pony when y'all come in. She's a ranger, technically, and that mostly just comes from the fact that she grew up in the forest for most of her life, and so was able to, get a sense of what it would be to like hunt and that sort of thing. But she does live in Bellet at the moment, and performs there as a clown with her monkey.
Awesome, I love it. So let's talk about just some quick out of character speech. I just want to go around the table and find out what everyone is interested in doing. If you'll take a minute just to kind of briefly introduce your character to Jen too, that would be great. David, what's Isabella's thinking right now? What's your next move?
So Isabella Vergestrider is a mage. She has been kind of fraught with tragedy So she is currently dealing with the latest tragedy where Logan has died, and she is trying to get him back one way or another. And I think that she's actually I think this whole like going to the inn thing is like really like not that interesting to her right now. So she's actually gonna backtrack a little bit and talk with what's his name again?
Necromancer?
No, because he's going to the inn. Talk with oh my gosh,
the guy trapped in the tunnel.
Yeah, that guy.
Oh, okay, we should mention that character because I didn't mention them. Isabella has a contact in the city, somebody that there's a suggestion they have some sort of past together, but basically he's a flim flam artist who has a tattoo that says if he ever gets caught out in the real world, he is to be delivered immediately back to Bellet. And so he's currently shackled up in the entrance tunnel to the city. So you want to go speak to him for what purpose? Just out of character? I mean, it's okay. I just like to know as a GM what your thinking is there.
I think like he's probably going to get loose, so better to have him like working towards my purposes, at least seemingly so, than against me. So,
okay, good. I like that. I would like to explore the idea of you guys have like a history. I mean, whether it's he seems to like think it's a romantic history, but it sounds like you find him repulsive in that way. But I would like to at least explore that a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, good. That seems like a good next move. Weary, what about you?
So Weary is a thief who is a member of the Shadow Court, which is like a subgroup of a church, and the church has many subgroups, it looks like, or at least another one with the Phantom Court, which kind of pits. It seems like they're sort of like a check and balance for each other, like the Shadow Court and the Phantom Court are used for cross purposes often, and to keep them like off balance or something like that. And we haven't really
the church has many warring factions within itself, right? It's that big and overwrought, right?
Right. So Weary's still trying to like come to the truth of these things, and he's like a Manchurian candidate that gets reset every series, and then slowly has to unravel more mysteries of himself and what's going on with each time we play, basically. And yeah, he had just scoped out the tower, so I think I would go to the inn because I want to get Rutger on board for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. You may have to do some lying too, because the tower has nothing to do with your present mission. So
yeah. Well, but I did convince him, I think, last time, right? Because I convinced him that Ungoliant was enslaved by the evil person in the tower, and he should help me.
Oh right, yeah, go free Ungoliant, right? Yeah, that's good. What about your flags? Any flags that you would be interested in highlighting this session?
I have believe a lie I've told you, send me into the shadows to explore something or back you up, and ask me the history of the church, hunting the keepers, or perhaps my heritage. And I think I just leave those just because each series there's at least one new person, and then those are just easy to hit, I think.
Yeah, to ask about you and ask about what you do.
Yeah, and even like last series stuff and whatnot.
Yeah, it's super easy for new characters. Like Sparkles could, I could totally see a scene where like, you and Sparkles just talk about your past or whatever. Cool. Rich, tell us about Rutger, please.
Rutger is a fighter of some renown. He carries a relic, an heirloom of his family. It's been passed down from mother to son, from father to daughter, and it is called the Twilight Reaver. As he has gone on recent escapades, the sword has become an heirloom that he can speak with, and starting this session, he can heal people now by laying on hands with the multi-class dabbler move that I just took. As he,
Nice. I'd love to know where does that come from your sword?
yes, like
the first time is it a connection? Is it because like one of your ancestors had this ability? Is that the idea here?
I'm thinking that one of the ancestors had the ability. Perhaps if you want to tie it into the fiction, that Uncle Edric could mention it, or it's just something that has come to me in the madness here.
I think the first time you use it, I think what would be great is if the first time you used it, you just gave us a little dictated scene of like your ancestor and kind of what they were up to and why they could do it. That's sufficient for me as far as fictional justification for why you can now heal.
Yay!
All right,
We
good.
kind of need it.
Are you also heading to the Fancy Pony?
Of course.
Okay.
Which is great because my flags are get drunk and rowdy with me, encourage me to fight someone for your own gain, or harm or threaten to harm an enemy, so that I can step in and care or show compassion for them.
I love it. And let's just circle back to Sparkles. Sparkles, what are your flags? Just kind of call them out on camera for us.
Oh gosh, it had something to do with making fun of. I can't see it right now, but making fun of.
I can read them. Make fun of your Harlequin
right
background. So basically, make fun of your clown garb and your cannibalism. Defer to you when dealing with polite society. That's interesting since you're a halfling clown.
Well, polite society.
Although Bellet Osk society, I suppose, is right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Ask for a performance by me or the monkey. Oh, that's good. I like that. That sounds like a perfect entree, actually. Why don't we just pick up there? So let's pick up with the Fancy Pony. The Fancy Pony is, there are people in Bellet Osk, despite the fact that it's filled with crazy people, there are people in Bellet Osk who do manage to have a business. Edric is one, right? They manage to have a business. They manage to keep it together, right? As you each enter the Fancy Pony, and this is not for Sparkles, this is for Weary and Rucker. As you enter the Fancy Pony, although if you have an idea, Sparkles, I'd love to hear what you have to say too. What do you see in the inn that indicates to you that like there's a certain order to things, right? Like there's some sort of like weird behavior or some sort of like weird aspect of the inn and the tavern attached to it that is a response to the insanity. Like it's something they do to kind of like keep everything normal. Does that make sense? Like just some kind of like response to it. For example, just something that came up, in a long time ago game. Maybe like the barkeep has to wipe down the bar precisely every 12 minutes or something, right? Some like weird little thing that imposes order on an otherwise crazy situation. And be thinking about that for a sec. And Sparkles, where will you be in the tavern? Like when they come in, what will you be?
I feel like I'd be on stage if there is a stage. If there's not a stage, I'll probably just be kind of wandering around the tables and like performing, and like my monkey would be on my shoulder with like a little concertina, and I'd be kind of dancing and like and singing and taking sips of people's beverages and being all like very just like very almost like 1920s style, like but also clowny, just really flirty with all the patrons and that sort of thing.
I like it. Good.
Like a floor show. Yeah,
that's good. Weary, as you enter the Fancy Pony, what do you see that indicates there's some order here?
I think that they have numbers for all of the things on tap, so that like, and it's all in a Fibonacci sequence or something. So like, as people look at the taps, it goes like, I wish I knew the Fibonacci sequence, but basically, as you read them, it's like a calming set of numbers that you go by. So just by reading the taps, you get like more calm, and you're like thinking about the numbers instead of whatever you might be getting rowdy about or something like
Oh,
that.
interesting. So it almost like distracts them. That's interesting. Oh, we have a definition here. Thank you, Rich. A series of numbers in which each number is the sum of the two preceding numbers. The simplest
Yeah.
is 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. Oh, I see. So as they like look through the numbers and they're doing the math, focusing on that keeps them like focused. I like that.
Yeah, like it's almost like a compulsive thing that they need to do, but is harmless.
Yeah, that's good. What about you, Rucker?
It is odd to me that a number of the patrons, the ones who seem to be most familiar here and most comfortable, have brought their own mugs. And at the base of the mug, there's a bit of twine that's tied to their wrist.
Yes, good. I like that. Okay, good.
which was interesting because Edrigan was tying his mug to his wrist as we approached, and I didn't understand, but evidently
Nice.
that's a thing.
Sparkles, would you notice such things, or is it all just sort of normal to you?
Well, I feel like I've been living in Bellet for a couple years, but one thing that I like, not necessarily notice, but like one thing that is crucial to my what I'm doing is the fact that there are lanes like marked between the tables. So it's like there's dotted lines, and it's like you have to go. If you're going one way, you are on one side, and if you're going the other, you are on the other. So it's very much
To
like
direct traffic, right?
yeah. So like, I mean, there's not that much traffic to necessitate it, but it is just like a comforting thing. So yeah, there's traffic lanes in the bar marked on the floors.
I like that. It's so weird. It's almost like they're, I mean, you imagine like a hospital, right? Like my dad actually is he used to be the chief of security at a big state hospital that was, for people with mental health issues, and they had these things, right? They had like these little procedures, these little things that like kept order. So I love that. You guys have done a great job of that. Good. I want to just that was lovely. I want to kind of cut back over to Isabella briefly, but before I do, Sparkles, you're going to see someone else enter the bar right around the same time that Weary and Rutger enter the bar, and this person, I want to know who they are, but this person is has it out for you for some reason. There's somebody who you don't want to face off with. I want to know like who they are, why they're angry at you, or why they want to hurt you, and out of character, what I'm trying to do is set up a chance for you to like maybe go talk to Weary and Rucker and be like, hey, help me out with this problem or whatever, which I think is someone's flag on here. But so just be thinking about that, okay?
So someone's after me, trying to kill me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and
Okay.
I just need to know who it is and what the reason is. So, Isabella, it's probably it's nighttime by now, right? And you guys haven't I should point out, you haven't gone very far in the city. The Flouncy Pony, the tower, the gate, they're all in the same district. So you actually haven't had to travel very far to do any of this stuff, okay? That's important because traveling to other districts is a little more dangerous for reasons we'll talk about. So going back to the entrance is no big deal. For Sparkles' benefit, in character, you'll definitely be aware of it. But basically, the entrance to the city, Sparkles, is a sort of like a tunnel that goes underneath this wall, and there are dozens and dozens of mad people shackled to the walls, and you have to walk on this like really narrow line, and the mad people like just kind of like rush forward. They rush forward like the length of their shackles and just kind of scream and holler at you, right? And the thinking is, we decided last time, the thinking is this is the first thing you have to do when you enter the city. It's the only entrance, because the idea is we only want people entering the city who are willing to deal with the madness, right? Who are willing to cope with it. So no weak stomachs. Isabella, you're going back to that unsavory place. It'll be, I think probably like in the evening, it's a little more maybe like they're a little more like drugged up or a little more like, calm or whatever. It's not the crazy chaotic screaming as much,
Right. And if you're
Mostly
coming
just
from
a
the
bunch of moaning.
inside.
Yeah, if you're coming from the inside, it's probably a little different, right? And also this time of night, they probably just don't let people in late, right? So there's a lot of moaning and a lot of wailing, but none of the rushing up and screaming at you sort of thing, right? What's his character's name again?
Rook.
Rook, that's right. So let's just have the scene. What do you do?
So I find his spot in the line of them, and I just kind of sit down Indian style because he's probably sitting at this point too. And
maybe he's not awake.
Yeah, and I just start kind of like tossing like pebbles at him to like wake him up.
And as he's kind of waking up, he's like, I've already had my medicine. What are you doing? Is it already time for dinner? He kind of like he doesn't really know what's going on, but he's kind of waking up then. It is pretty dark still too.
Mm-hmm. Medicine. So that's how they keep you in this place. I figured you would have been free of your shackles by now.
He's like, Isabella, I knew you'd come back for me.
Let's not assume anything just yet, Rook.
I knew you'd come back for me. I knew one look at my dashing features, one snatch of my charming voice, and you wouldn't be able to resist. You'd come back straight away.
If you try and intone that there is any kind of romantic relationship between myself and your miserable, pathetic frame, then I will just leave you here right now.
Oh, Isabella, can't we just let the past be the past? Can't we pursue that path not taken? It's not too late.
There's a reason that you are mad, isn't there?
He's like, I'm not mad. You know that this is just a way that people keep me in check. The powers that be. You know what I'm talking about. The big men, the fancy women who run things, who control things, who secretly meddle in our lives and move us about like puppets on strings. They fear me, and so they keep me in this place.
Yes, there was a time when you were much more resourceful than you appear to be right now. And I'm wondering if I might be able to take advantage of that in exchange for releasing you.
What did you have in mind?
You have cheated and manipulated some of the most powerful men and women in our time. And I'm wondering if you've ever cheated or manipulated the one who is beyond our time.
That's a good cut. Let's go back to the pub. Sparkles, tell me about this cat who is threatening you, or is going to be threatening you.
Yeah, I think it is a noble in town who whose name I cannot think of. Who okay. Who has who I have stolen a great deal of things from, and during one of their like parties that I was performing at, and then I left with a whole bunch of their fancy items and sold them on the streets. So
this noble's name is Alwester Greymantle.
okay.
Alwester Greymantle enters and he makes like a grand proclamation. Weary and Rucker, he's right behind you guys. He's wearing like a black silk cloak and his hair is white and slicked back, and he's very pale. And he says, "Now that the harsh light of day is gone, I rise from my crypt, here to make myself known, to exact vengeances upon those who have slighted me." And he kind of gives like a little narrow-eyed glance at you, Sparkles. What do you do?
Oh, golly. Hey, you look really strong. Could you kill that vampire for me?
Is that to Rucker?
Yeah.
Let's have that scene.
I'm sorry, child. That's not a vampire. That's a fool.
Well, let's slay him. How about that? That would be fun, wouldn't it? We would have fun. I'll buy you drinks, many drinks afterwards.
Rucker drops down to a knee and then lowers himself even further. Why that one?
Because he wants to kill me, and the closest, the best thing to do would be to kill him first, correct? I mean, we're friends now that we've met, and I would just really appreciate it if you would...
I love the idea of the monkey is like slapping you on the shoulder, Rucker, like, yeah, we're friends.
yeah, and the monkey is sort of like, yeah, tickling you and like rubbing, like combing your hair, like, yeah, we're real good friends, and this man wants to kill me, and you don't want your friends to be hurt, do you?
He introduced himself, like he declared his name.
He declared to
right?
the room,
Yeah. Greymantle, do you wish to kill this little child?
It has been a fortnight since I have fed on the blood of the unwilling, and I have a taste for halfling blood.
I punch him.
You punch him. Nice. Yeah, you just lay him out. Like, what does that look like?
Just one move. He's on his knee. He looked up. Alwester, do you want it? And yes, and they just bam, even left-handed. It's not even a strong hand. Just
Man, that's a Mortal Kombat uppercut.
Yeah, he just goes careening. He just goes careening and crashing down, like up against the wall or whatever on the ground. And he looks at you and he says, and like, he's clearly got a big bruise and like blood coming out of his lip or whatever, right? And he's like, "You think you have harmed me? This wound will heal in minutes, and then you'll be sorry, friend." He stands up and he like kind of flares out his cloak. He says, "I shall change into a red vampiric mist and sneak ever so deftly into your room and drain the very life from you, leaving you naught but a husk, desiccated and dead."
So basically, he's like another crazy person in Bellet who's like a cosplayer who's playing Vampire Masquerade.
He's a cosplayer. And then he just like whips the cloak like around his face, Dracula style, and like leaves the bar.
While he's doing all that, can I like whatchamacallit, pickpocket him, and if successful, I want to toss it at Sparkles and say, "For your troubles."
Oh yeah, or that's a good bonding thing, right? Yeah, I like it. Do tools or tricks of the trade. Go for it.
Okay. Roll for your party. 2. Nice. I got 2 6s plus 3.
Nice. You acquire a little. It's like a little red gem, like not a jewel, but a gem, like a red stone, red gemstone, polished, about the size of about the size of a quarter, maybe a little bigger, silver dollar, and yeah, that's what you get.
Is it a bloodstone?
But yeah, what do you do?
I think as he leaves, I like toss it up into the air. Like the camera is like bird's eye view, and it goes up, and so we see it in the camera. Then it lands down back in.
The monkey catches it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
And then I
The monkey
said
catches it. What does the
clear
monkey do with
troubles.
it? That's important.
The monkey kind of bites it and then kind of just yeah, kind of bites it and then throws it at the bartender, and the bartender throws a bottle of absinthe at the monkey, and the monkey catches it, and then I'm like, drinks for us all. Now that you've become my friends, I must buy you drinks. That is the custom in this particular pub. Sit. I'm done with my floor show. I'd love to get to know the friends who have helped me destroy a vampire today. Thank you very much. Now, sit. And I'm pouring them into glasses that I've procured from my hair, and like,
I would not drink from those glasses.
just sort of like
little cordials or whatever.
it's more like I'm just pulling them out of mid-air, because like I'm like a clown magician sort of
God,
like
okay,
sleight of hand thing, and so I'm just like pouring these glasses, and like I reach behind Rutger's ear and then procure a glass, and I'm like, well, here you go, my friend, and now sit.
You have a glass behind my ear. Where did that come from?
Her tricks. Now sit, please. I want to get to know you. You are a very strong man. Are you part of a traveling circus? And you're quite dark, which is helpful from time to time, sir. Now sit. Tell me your story. And she sits back, and she's drinking some absinthe, and the monkey has a like a thimble full of absinthe that he's drinking, and we're just waiting for stories.
So you're going for a story from both Weary and Ricker? Is that the idea?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I want just a quick note. So so that red stone, was taken as in payment by the innkeep. The innkeep is a woman, a fairly nondescript woman, like dark hair and average height and kind of dressed simply, but she's not crazy, and her name is Sarafa, and she takes it and she kind of she says, and she pockets the stone. All right, think about your stories. Isabella. You're having this conversation with Rook, and I will tell you that there is one of the Knights Orderly, these guards who wear these like white smocks and white masks. He's kind of pacing back and forth in the tunnel, right? You can kind of see his shadow like along the walls, because there are like lanterns kind of lit, here and there. And so just know that, like, anything you do, like, that's kind of your danger here. Do you want to keep playing that scene out, or do you want to just go straight to trying to free Rook?
No, I mean, we can, like, if he will suggest that, like, he has any ability to cheat death or manipulate death, like,
yeah. Let's do that. Yeah, that was good. He's like, I know of the one whom you speak, Isabella. I know her well. She is positively ravenous, if you know what I mean. And we have spent many a night together, but always, I leave them wanting more. I always manage to slip out before the sun rises, if you know what I mean.
Everyone knows what you mean, Rook.
I can help you with this most dark and ravenous of patrons, if only you, chink, 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 help me.
And you said that the guard, like, is nearby, so he would probably interfere with me if I were to...
Yeah, you just need to do it. You just need to tell me what your plan is to avoid that guy. So.
Yeah. All right, Rook. Here's what I'll do for you. I'm going to freeze those monocles so that you can shatter them after I have left.
Very interesting. I'm not super interested in the spell roll. I'm more interested in just like avoiding the guard's dangers. Let's just make it defy danger int. Okay.
Okay.
Let's Let's just have that.
11.
Nice. You can give it fiction there if you want, or just however you want to handle it.
Yeah, so I think Rook will just like nod, and then his manacles will start to get really icy and really brittle, and then I'll walk away, and like just a minute later I'll hear like the scrambling of guards and like a commotion as Rook makes his escape.
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah. So, okay, that's good. So, like, all right, good. I like that. And you guys will meet up, I guess, later at some point. So,
Yeah.
good. Back at the inn, so Sparkles has asked for stories. Edric is there too. Just a reminder there. Edric is there, and he's a little antsy. Like there are old men in the corner playing dice, and he wants to go over there and play dice, but he's trying to be like a good, host or whatever by hanging around a little bit and listening to your stories. It's still not entirely clear, Rutger, if he knows exactly who you are. That is still every now and then there's a suggestion that he remembers, but like it's real fuzzy. So. And just for your edification, Jen, he's an older man dressed in kind of ratty spun cloth black robes, missing a lot of teeth. So,
of course he is. Of course.
So Sparkles has asked for your story. Who wants to go first, or a story?
I want to pump Rutger's tires a little bit, I think, and
I'm glad you finished that the way you did.
Is that an expression?
Is that a Canadian thing? I've literally never heard that expression.
Is this like crispy? Like
what? I don't know.
Crispy pumping of the tires.
That's what. I'm an operations manager, and that's what the salespeople always say when they want to make a sale. They'll pump the customers' tires, like inflate their ego and stuff like that.
It makes sense now you've explained it, but yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know. I'll just stop saying weird things, I guess. I don't know.
No, I love it. Keep it going. All right.
So I wanted to tell the story about Rutger saving the child that's now in Bellet, just so Sparkles knows about that as well. And basically I'll say like we came upon, we were sent on a mission to save an innocent child who recites the numbers, and maybe Sparkles even heard of it. I don't know if he's making waves at Bellet or what.
Well, you need the context there. One of their missions, they had to kill a keeper whose key was a little boy who repeated numbers. Like he just had this like sequence of numbers that he just repeated, like, and it made no sense. And that's all he could say. Like every word he said, it was just inflection with those numbers. That's it. Like everything he expressed. So they rescued him and basically sent him to Bellet because he would blend in better in Bellet, right? So.
Yeah, and Rutger single-handedly took down the beast that was protecting / imprisoning the child.
Dread Governess Goldruga.
Yeah, and chased it away, which
he killed it.
Yeah, it would have like gone and hunted the child, but Rutger single-handedly took it down.
Oh so my! You are a strong man, Rutger. I am very impressed by your feats of strength. Here, have another drink, and then she pulls another full glass of absinthe out of thin air and gives it to him.
Nice. You guys doing the whole sugar cube thing and everything? Is it
Oh yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
So it looks kind of like this to Rutger, then about this size, like tiny. He tries to drink it.
It's like, I imagine like it's like a little like in your hands, like holding it delicately between your big fingers, right?
Little 3 or 4 fingers up kind of thing.
It's gonna be tricky to get drunk and rowdy off that.
I anticipate it's absinthe, but Weary is too modest. If not for his prowess in stealth, he's very sneaky. See, little one, he's very sneaky. He was able to. In fact, I remember he fought an assassin to a standstill. She was masterful with blade. It was very impressive that fight. She was a member of a phantom court. Is that right?
Oh yes, she was. She was. She had us, or she had me at a disadvantage until you came along. Though is what I recall.
No, I was merely an audience. If I believe no, you are too modest, Weary. Too modest. You forget how impressive you were. He has memory problems.
Yeah, especially with absence.
Edric,
Absence.
Oh, we all have memory problems. That is not a big deal. What is memory but things that have not yet happened but feel like they have.
Mhm. Can Isabella arrive at the tavern at
yeah,
this?
of course. Yeah, it's all very close. So, yeah.
Okay. I'll come through the door, and I have just added a picture to my profile. So, looking probably just about as crazy as the last guy who walked through the door.
Yeah.
Wow.
Whose blood are you here to drink?
Yeah.
But I just like look around and I'm taking it all in. Then I see my companions, and I walk over to the table, and I look at Sparkles. Like, this place truly is mad. That monkey has a mount.
Well, the monkey is my friend Yo-Yo, and I am Sparkles. May I shake your hand, madam? And then as we're shaking the hand, like I'm pulling away, and all of a sudden she has a glass of absinthe in her hand.
Nice.
The monkey is taking advantage
a
of
glass
you.
of absinthe. Edric brings down the mood at the table a little bit. He says, "Isn't anyone going to ask about my past? How I got to be here in Bellet?"
Edric, we've known each other for 2 years.
And he looks at you and says, "Yes, madam, yes. We have known each other. Fine collegial relationship indeed."
Yeah. I always sponsor you in teeth.
I was brought here against my will, don't you know? I was brought here by my family who did not understand my work. They brought me here, left me here to rot.
He talks about this all the time.
It was hard in the beginning, being surrounded by all of these mad people, and I was so angry. I said, if I ever get a chance to get out of here, if I can ever make my way in the real world again, I will have my revenge on them. But I grew accustomed, and now here I am, with fine business in Bellet, and friends, old, pointing to the old men in the corner, and new, pointing to all of you. So everything worked out okay in the end, I guess. And it just kind of gets quiet and begins nursing his absinthe.
And like I think it's just like a quiet moment, and then I turn back to Sparkles again. I'm like, you're not from the tribe outside in the woods, are you?
Well, they are my family, the Feral Circus. But I have moved up in the world. I have come to civilize the city of Bellet, and I'm far more civilized than my cousins. This is it's not. It's not that I'm ashamed of them. It's just that I have greater visions of what I can do with my hereditary talents.
I get quiet and like stare at her for a moment, and then I turn to Weary and Rutger, and I look at them in the eye, real serious, and I'm like, they eat their own kind out there, don't you know?
This is a rumor.
The cannibals,
a vicious myth.
the cannibals say that they taste like pork, so they call men that are eating other men long pig. What do the halflings call one another when they eat each other?
Well,
I don't understand the joke.
Oh, Rutger.
Well, it is a vicious joke, and it is not true. This woman is clearly mistaken. We do not eat people. We mostly eat pygmy elephants.
Pygmy elephants. That sounds pretty cute, actually.
They are our mounts and our friends and our food.
Yes, they eat their friends. That's the take.
Nice.
We're going to take a quick break, but before we
Sparkles, you
do,
shouldn't do that. That's you shouldn't. Yes, elephants though. We could eat some elephant.
Sarafa, the innkeep, comes up to you and says, "Friends, will any of you be requiring a room at the Flouncy Pony?"
I guess we would, right? We don't have a place to
You don't have anywhere to stay.
Yeah. Unless we like to wander the streets adrift. Sure. I got cash. I got cash monies.
She says, Good. I'll make up your rooms. I just have to warn you that I won't be available in the morning to serve your breakfast. I have something of a problem with the sunlight, you see. It's difficult for me to be in." And then she backs up and goes to sort out your rooms.
Sure. Okay.
And we'll take a quick break. Just take 2 minutes.
Okay.
That gem.
Jen, you might want to try unplugging and plugging in your microphone.
Oh. Is that better?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Before there was a strange popping sound sometimes, but now it's gone. It looks like.
Oh, good. Cool.
Oh, it just happened again. Oh well.
Oh. I don't know.
It's definitely less than before though, so that's good.
Okay, cool. Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know. It's just my thing,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. Technology.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun playing with you.
Yeah, no, I'm enjoying this. I love Bellet, so
Me
I
too.
was really happy to return to.
Yeah, I played in Bellet with World of Dungeons as well. I think the first time Jason did it with a big barbarian dude, and I gambled my teeth as well.
Yeah, I really enjoy being an actual citizen of Bellet. I was Moon Poison Wolf Crystal, the gnome bard in Jason's last Bellet adventure, and that was a lot of fun. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a fan of Bellet. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Probably one of my favorite settings that he does.
Yeah. No, seriously, I could do a whole campaign there.
Yeah.
Someday I'm going to kill the Hex King.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've met Vigreet once, so I wonder if it'll be the same.
Yeah, I wonder. This time Vigreet's a woman, so that'll be interesting to see how different this Vigreet is from the other.
Yeah, when I met them, I think it was like a bug person or something.
Yeah, like a bug necromancer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we'll see. Yeah, because I think you came on you started joining games like Jason said as soon as I left, so we haven't got a chance to play yet until now.
Yeah, well, I've heard good things, so this is exciting.
Did you sign up for a bunch of Gauntlet Con stuff?
I did, yeah, mostly World of Dungeons,
Oh, okay.
but I think I've got a couple other things there. I think I did the Apocalypse World, the Fallen Empires, and then
yeah, that'll be cool.
Purple Planet through World of Dungeons, and then Kate has one about a circus.
Yeah, I haven't seen it since she started working on it with Magpie, but I saw it in the germination of what it was before, and it's really cool. Yeah. My only hang up with it was I would play it, but circus stuff scares the shit out of me usually. So I wonder how I would play it.
I'm sorry that I'm playing a clown then.
Oh no, just like the whole. I don't know. It's not like I'm not like some people where they just are super afraid of clowns for whatever reason. I don't think I've ever even met an actual clown or anything.
Oh,
but for some reason, the idea of circus stuff freaks me out. Probably just from horror movies when I was a kid and stuff like that. Something I don't know.
That is interesting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Knowing Kate, I know and seeing the game before, I know what she's going for with what the mechanics are supposed to do with it, and it seems really cool. I bet you'll have a great time.
Yeah,
we're talking about Crossroads Carnival. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
David's in that game too, and Dan too, I think.
Oh wow, that'll be. Oh, that was the All-Star thing that you posted about, right?
Yeah. I was like, it's a great group of players. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know Andrew as a player, but David and Dan and Jen is a pretty good. That's the game I'd want to be in. So. And Kate's game.
Yeah, Dan really flew under the radar on that one.
Yeah, he signed up for a couple things I noticed, which was interesting. So
yeah, he has 3 or 4 things there.
Awesome.
And Steve, I think, is in both of my fail games.
Who?
Steve Maines, I think.
Oh, is it really? Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know Steve had signed up for things. Yeah, that's awesome. Wow. Cool. Getting the gang back together.
I know we'll have to lure them to some pop-up game or something for
we just need Andrea and the Scots to join a game, and then it would be the whole every podcast host there's ever been would have been on.
Yeah, I've never played with Andrea either.
I think Rich plays with her pretty regularly.
Yeah, the international continent of awesome or something.
That's right. International group. It's IGOA.
Intercontinental group of awesome.
Intercontinental, that's right.
Right. I knew there was something about a continent.
What's the deal?
We were talking about how Dan Lewis and Steve Maines have signed up for Gauntlet Con games.
Yeah.
And we were like, if we just had Kristen and Andrea sign up for games, it would be every podcast host would be on there. And then we got talking about IGOA and you playing with Andrea. So.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I'm not sure why Andrea's not participating, but it would be great. I'll ping her about it.
Yeah, get her to
Jen's audio is fixed now, it looks like, too. So
yay.
Yeah, I haven't heard a pop yet, so it looks like it's good.
I've noticed it kind of evens out. It starts that way and then it kind of gets a little better. So we also I'd like to this is great. It was a great scene in the bar. I love it. I think we're all best friends now. I think I'd like to go ahead and just kind of advance a little bit. You have something else you want to do.
Yeah, I wanted to use that opportunity to try to get everybody on board with my thing.
Instead of going to to the main mission, make your case to the group of why.
Well, I'd like to remind everybody that they're at least a little bit liquored up, right? So
That is a good point. Yeah, that's
yeah,
true. Everyone's a little drunk.
that's
So.
why I've waited. But yeah, so I think after the rooms were ready, I picture like the scene as like everybody's sort of like exiting the pub, or there's just like the diehard regulars at the bar or whatever still there,
Yeah.
and the tone gets like darker, and I start telling them the story of the watchtower that I've already told Rutger, but I don't think Isabella heard it. I think she was like ahead on the road or whatever, but the story of Ungoliant being trapped in the watchtower by like an evil phantom court member with like, you know, a vicious brand on their neck. And I just happened to scope out the watchtower earlier, and it has some defenses that are not impregnable, and we could use I was thinking like Sparkles as a I'm going to ask for a performance by you or your monkey as a distraction for the patrolling guards.
Oh, to sneak into the tower.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course.
And then there's a magical storm that I could use some help with for Isabella, and then Rutger, I could just use his might in general, right? Because I'm sure the Ungoliant is guarded because they don't want Ungoliant freed, and it would be a mercy, really, to remove Ungoliant from the world as it is now.
Oh, to kill it, not just free it. You're
I
suggesting.
think that's what we were saying before, right? Like, isn't Ungoliant? It's like a weapon of the Phantom.
Yeah,
Court, right?
like there was an ancient war between the Phantom Court and the Shadow Court, and Ungoliant was a beast, like a weapon
Yeah.
that was
Yeah,
part
like
of the
have
war.
you seen Gargoyles? It's like that life, right?
Oh yeah, it's trapped on the tower. It's supposed to be trapped like somewhere near the top of the tower. That's what you know for sure. So.
Yeah, and my idea is basically to remove this weapon and hurt the Phantom Court and such.
Yeah, and so okay, all right. So you're telling the truth, really. I mean, you're not.
Well, for Rutger, well, it's kind of a lie, right? Because for Rutger, I had him on board last time because it is not an imprisoned beast that I know of, anyway.
Oh, right. Yeah, it might be there willingly. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm framing it as like a mercy killing, and meanwhile, the Phantom Court probably hasn't really done anything to Sparkles and Yo-Yo or anything, right? So I'm sort of trying to hit on everybody's things to make
Look
them
how you can help me solve my problem. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Which is all maybe sort of believe a lie I've told you.
I think if you all go
what's
for
the
this
lie?
plan,
What's the lie you tell me to get me on board?
Yeah, like why does Isabella give a shit? Like this has got nothing to do with her, right?
Well, it's a Phantom Court watchtower. They might have writings on how to bring back the dead and spells and magics of that kind.
Is that
you've
that's,
heard?
that's what you allude to?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, there's forbidden knowledge there. Who knows what you'll find, right? Perhaps something that will help you in your search for Logan.
Yeah, that's enough for me.
Plus an evil beast. Plus one evil beast up in that tower. Is everyone on board?
So we're taking a vote. You got 2 votes. It's 2 yes votes. What about Rucker? I'll remind you, it has nothing to do with the mission, but that's cool.
Oh, well, we talked earlier, and I'm a little worried about the child being a diversion, but
The child.
it should be.
It took me a minute.
All I'm asking them to do is have a performance, and then the guards will come and gather, and it's a win-win for Sparkles and Yo-Yo. They'll probably get some money out of it, and the guards will, won't have to be killed by us.
That is a win-win.
We're saving lives.
Yes, I like this plan.
All right. I guess, are you going to go right now, tonight, or are you going to go the next day?
Well, I have their acquiescence now, so I'd like to go now.
Well, everyone's a little toasted.
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds like a great time to go.
I'm a little drunk and a bit
tower.
tired.
Yeah, you put on the throat all
It'll be
day.
rather easy, so sure.
All right,
Let's go, Rutger! And I climb up on Rutger's shoulders and like and I'm just like, we're gonna have fun.
So it's a
Now-
human with a halfling with a monkey.
Now the halfling.
Yeah.
Tier.
Yes. Now the halfling has a mount.
Yes.
All
right.
right. Mount. That's very funny.
Edric says Edric's actually busy. He's rolling dice with these old men, and you can leave him there. He'll be there all night. So
Oh yeah, I'm sure he'll be losing hard.
we shall see.
Losing
We shall
teeth.
see. All right. This is good. So the tower is nearby. There's basically like, it's nighttime, and so there's going to be not as many people around. I think the Knights Orderly probably do a pretty good job of like shuffling the particularly troublesome citizens like back into their homes or wherever they live. But there's not like a curfew. You're allowed to walk around. It's just kind of everybody's a little calmed down. But there are a pair of guards that patrol the square where the base of the tower is, and they're keeping an eye out for different things. And one of the things they might be keeping an eye out for is people trying to get into the tower. I think that's reasonable. The base of the tower actually is. There are actually people who live there. It's actually like someone's home. It's not, and we mentioned last time that the base of the tower is not connected to the Phantom Court. You need to get to the higher parts, right?
Right. Yeah, there was
yeah.
some kind of entry midway.
There's a door about 2/3 of the way up that's just appears to be hanging in dead space, like on the wall. But in fact, you discover that there's like secret invisible stairs, right?
Right. Yeah, let's do the invisible stair up. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what's the first move? Sparkles, it sounds like you're going to get the attention of the guards.
Yeah, absolutely.
Describe it for me. What do you and you? Is it you, Yo-Yo?
Yo-Yo.
What do you and Yo-Yo do? What do you and Yo-Yo do? I wish it was you, so I could say, what do you and you do?
So what we do is we just kind of go up to where the guards are, and Yo-Yo like gets out his little concertina and starts playing, and I begin like juggling and singing a song, and if you give me a moment, I have the song that I'm singing, and I'm just singing. We are new unlucky birds, true cardinals shrieking songs through unhallowed city yawns, feasting with forgotten lords. We've been forced from airy turf, severed, injured, weird, congealed as a bead of life, altered, lost, and dry. And so I'm singing that song, and the guards react according to what you want them to.
Defy danger charisma. I love it.
Oh, all right. That's a 7.
Okay. That's good. That's going to work. You're down there. The guards, they wear these like expressionless white masks, and you are dancing and doing your thing. And they're just like kind of, the concertina's playing, and they're just like kind of like bobbing left and right, like unrhythmically, to your song. You can sing multiple verses to give the team time to do what they're going to do. One thing you're going to be aware of, you're also going to get the attention possibly of somebody else. In fact, you hear down the lane a large group of people. There's a large group of people, like maybe like there's like a side street or a lane like kind of going off, in one direction of the square. And as soon as you started singing your song, their voices rose up. Like it was like they weren't there, and then suddenly they were there. And you can hear them start to pick up the refrain of your song. but it's the voices of like dozens and dozens of people. You can hear them. So it's like we hear Sparkles singing it, and then we hear the refrain down the street.
I know where this is going.
And so that's what's going on. So, Weary, this is your mission. What do? Do you want to heist it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That would be cool. Let's see, heist. Just gotta pull up the move. So when you take the time to plan to steal something, name the thing you want to steal, ask the GM these questions, blah, blah, blah. So who will notice it's missing? And I guess I plan to steal the Ungolian's means of control, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we can kind of reinterpret it a little bit. Like who will notice if Ungolian's dead or missing, I think is reasonable.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I think is worth pointing out is, let's say, like in your previous, like, kind of scoping the place out, like as part of your heist move, I think you have seen a man go. I think you've seen a man like go back and forth, like throughout the, like earlier in the day, you saw this man go back and forth from the base part, right? Old man. He looks a little bit like Jonathan Pryce in Game of Thrones, like the High Sparrow, right? Like kind of the simple spun robe, barefoot, gray hair, right? And you didn't think much of it, but one thing that you'll pick up on is that man. You also saw that man like up in one of the high windows, right? Indicating that he's connected somehow.
Okay. What's its most powerful defense?
There's a rumble while you guys are getting ready to make this move. The song is momentarily interrupted by a powerful strike of lightning on the top of the tower that casts a white glow over the merriment down below.
And who will come after it?
That's an interesting question.
The Phantom Court in general?
Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting question. And I think what you need to know there is that hold the question. We hold it and answer me. Ask me later when you have more knowledge. I think there's something I want to tell you, but I want you to have more context. So
okay, there's another one too. Who else wants it? But maybe we'll just save both of the
save those for more context. I think you know what you know based off what you've scoped out.
Okay.
Okay.
I like the image then of like us going to the base of the tower and me pressing close against the wall and shuffling sideways, like shimmying in like a typical video game or whatever, until my foot finds like the first stair and I climb up onto it. And then I think as you go up, the stairs gradually go out from the tower invisibly and become like actual steps. So we see us like shuffling along at first and then climbing up.
Yeah, I like that. And you'll have the benefit of Sparkles' help and be able to do that. I just want to get a read from Isabella and Rutger, because I imagine they're going to be very different answers. But I want to get a read from both of you. What is it like to walk up a set of invisible stairs?
I guess I have some dirt. I just keep throwing ahead because I'm going to fall.
Nice. Just to confirm, there is a step there. Good. What about you, Isabella?
I don't think this is my first rodeo. I've done this before. It feels like an old, kind of old charming magic to make stairs invisible like this, so you can get up your tower.
Yeah. Now that you guys are higher up, when you get to the tower, you can see down that lane the people who are singing the refrain to Sparkles' song. It's a large mass of people, probably about, I would say, 60 or 70. And they are each they're each wearing masks of some sort. Those of you with particularly good vision in the moonlight, you will see that they are fish masks. So various types of fish, these wooden masks they're wearing. And they are They are like singing the refrain of the song. They've got like little wooden, like clubs and buckets and pans and things, and they're like tapping them and banging them. And they're kind of just like ambling. This crowd of people is just kind of ambling down the lane, right? Singing the refrain of the song. Okay. But you're up at this door that's now hanging about 2/3 of the way up.
Wait, is the crowd approaching
the square? Yes, they're coming in that direction.
Oh, that's not good. Do we care about the monkey and its mount?
What we like Sparkles has more like does it seem ominous and dangerous and stuff? Like cuz
yeah, that's the thing. Sparkle's the only one who's a relative
really knows
who might know what's going on. You guys are not from here, right? So
right.
Yeah.
I think it's about lore. I'll take a spout lore from one of you.
It's a mob with clubs and things. It seems obvious, like it's not good news.
But they're singing and dancing and they're wearing fish masks.
Yeah.
It sounds like you want to spout lore, Isabella. Why don't you do that?
I guess so. Although a mob really seems like an obvious thing here. Like,
Well, but
I don't know what they are beyond a mob, but
Sparkles knows the area though. They know.
all right. I got an 8.
Okay. This mob is the legendary Fabulous Fish Parade of Bellet Osk. I'm just going to stick with the interesting here. I guess that's what I have to do. I'm going to ask you how you know that. They are a group of people, the size of which grows and shrinks constantly, that the Knights Orderly allow to roam around because they clean the streets. They keep the riffraff under control. A sort of measured culling. How do you know that?
Because I've heard of Bellet Osk before, and it's one of the things that is very mentioned, just like the entrance is mentioned. Yeah.
Do you warn Sparkles? Surely Sparkles hears them, or unless Sparkles is totally caught up in her performance.
Yeah, I think that I will stop where I'm at on the staircase and start to try and prepare a defense for Sparkles.
Okay, good. So it sounds like you're kind of hanging back a little bit while Rucker and Weary go forward.
Right, and I could cast a spell, or I could roll the defend move, whichever you think is.
We'll handle it when we get there.
Yeah.
In the meantime, Weary, you're at the door. What do you do?
I'm almost certain this is trap, so I'll be checking for that.
Go ahead and roll that.
All right, and I've already got my double 6s out of the way, so we'll see how this goes. 10.
10. Nice. Ask your questions.
Is there a trap here? And if so, what triggers it?
There's a trap here. Triggering it is it's a magical rune trap, and basically not belonging and fiddling with the door in any way triggers it.
Okay. What does the trap do when activated?
It creates a powerful burst of force that knocks you off the ledge, sends you
Careening.
to the ground.
What else is hidden here?
Ooh, that's good. You see, it might be the rune itself. It's unclear. Maybe if you try to disable it, we can talk about it then. But you see a rune very faintly carved. Well, not carved. It's like a faint, sort of pigment on the stone right above the frame of the door. And it looks like the Phantom Court symbol, that Omega symbol, except it's different. It's that symbol with a strange jagged line going through it, like a new symbol that you don't recognize.
Is it trying to it's part of the symbol? It's not trying to
cross it out or
across.
Something. Yeah, no, it's all purposeful at all. Yeah, it's like a new symbol. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, I guess I'll try to disable the trap.
Okay, go ahead and roll that. And if you need help from Rucker, we can get that after the fact if you need the roll.
Yeah. I always thought this is a little clunky that they get you to roll again.
Oh,
To
to
do
disable.
some-
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I got 2 6s, I guess.
Hitting all your rolls. It's good.
I don't mind this dice roller. I'll have to thank Shane.
Describe how you disable a trap. Like it's a magical rune. What do you do?
Um.
And it doesn't have to be that rune above the door, although it can be. It's up to you. Just however you want it to
Right.
work.
I think. Ooh, I know. Maybe like from the door. I think it's a little bit greasy to keep it like well oiled or whatever. And I palm some of that oil and then spread it over it to sort of mix the symbols into something that no longer has its power because it's been like defaced in a way. But it's like a temporary thing because it's just grease and oil.
Nice. And you're in. The door's not locked or anything.
Cool.
You guys can step, I imagine in Rucker's case, thankfully, into the room of the tower. Weary, you're in. Rutger, you're in. Let me describe the room for you. It's a circular room. There is a part of the staircase, like on the far sort of like part of the circle. There's staircase going up and down to a lower level and a higher level. And in the room, what you're going to see at a glance, there's a couple of candles and lanterns lit. What you'll see at a glance is mostly just like large crates, shelves with dusty jars and bottles and things like that on it. It looks like storage of some sort. Rutger, what do you do when you get in?
I'm mostly here to cover Weary's back. This is it's not my scene.
Indeed.
I'm a little drunk, so I'll just let him go in first unless I think there's some obvious danger, and then I'll go in first.
Well, are you keeping an eye out for obvious danger? I mean,
I am.
or unobvious danger, danger of any sort. Roll some realities. I mean, assuming you kind of keep your eyes open for things like that.
All right, I will do that. Ah, someone cleared my dice that I so carefully placed. That someone is Fraser. It's always Fraser. Oh, maybe I should roll 2d6 instead of 2d8. I have rolled a 6.
Do you want to try to help Weary?
Yeah, he's looking out for danger, is he?
Yeah, just keeping an eye open, right?
Discerning realities.
Yeah, I'll help just by, I don't know, doing the same thing, I guess, in the room.
Roll plus wisdom.
So Rich, what do I do to make it so I don't have to clear your stuff again?
If you just go ahead and use your mouse to click on those 2d6s, then you can click on reroll selected and reroll those 2 6s. You probably won't get 2 more 6s.
Yeah. So it goes.
You can clear. It's fine. It seems to be very.
I got a 10 anyway.
10. Holy crap!
That bumps you up to 1, Rutger. Ask me your question.
Yeah, let me grab those questions. What should I be on the lookout for? Seems appropriate.
You hear there's definitely someone on the floor right above you, and these are kind of low floors. Like the ceiling is probably like you said, just a little lower than a normal ceiling. It's like 9 feet, right? There's definitely someone like walking around on 2 legs, if that helps. You're thinking, walking around, muttering to themselves, moving things around. So.
Is someone above? You heard that, right?
I'll like do a subtle nod within my hood, looking very cool, of course. And then I'll hiss at Isabella and say, Isabella, someone's coming.
Isabella's not there with you. She's down. She's still outside.
I'm still outside on the staircase.
Let's cut to that. What a great segue. Thank you, Weary. You turn around and find Isabella, and she's not there. Let's go to Sparkles, actually. Sparkles, you're down there. You're dancing with the guys. And they're bobbing left and right, like doing the thing that you did. And they suddenly, like, stop, and they both, like, simultaneously turn their heads to the left, looking down the lane of the people, the crowd coming, and then they both turn their heads simultaneously again to look at you, and then they just walk off in another direction.
Well, it worked! Excellent, excellent, excellent. I wonder what they were looking at. And then
Indeed. The crowd is now, they're coming into the square, and they get about like, halfway into the square, the crowd that is, like, you know, they're kind of moving in. And they're probably about like, I don't know, 30 or 40 paces away from you, maybe a little bit more than that. Something like maybe 50 or 60 paces away from you, Sparkles. There's, Isabella, you'll notice also there's a citizen, a vagrant, a random person of Bellet Osk, maybe drunk off wine, who's kind of stumbling around as well near the base of the tower.
Hey, Charlie!
Exactly right. Sparkles, you don't see them. Only Isabella sees them.
Oh, okay.
Because Isabella has the better view. So basically, there's Sparkles, there's Charlie, we'll name him, and then there's the crowd coming. Right. At a certain point, the crowd, like, they stop singing a song, and they fall really quiet. Like they drop their little clubs in their pants. They got their fish masks, right, and they just stand there, like, staring directly ahead in Sparkles's and possibly Charlie's direction. Charlie seems like he's unaware of them. And then one of them in the crowd says, "It's time to feed the fishes." And another one says, "It's time to feed the fishes." And then that breaks out like a murmur over the crowd. "It's time to feed the fishes. It's time to feed the fishes. It's time to feed the fishes." A kid, "It's time to feed the fishes." And then they just like yell, "It's time to feed the fishes!" And they are rushing forth. What do you do, Isabella?
So we described this place as having kind of a localized storm recently.
It's still going on. Yeah, there's a swirling black storm above.
Well, yeah, I think like if it had rained, I would like freeze the rain that's on the ground so that this mob will just slip on it and collide with one another and not be able to effectively pursue.
Cast a spell. We'll say that's happening. That's fine. It's if nothing else, the ground's wet from maybe a previous rain.
11.
Nice. That'll slow them down. There's a bunch of them though. It might just cause them to like kind of fall over each other, but the back end of the crowd might still be going, right? Think like zombies, you know, piling into the you know, the freezing water or whatever in that frankly ridiculous sequence at the end of Game of Thrones season 7. And
the spell, it won't last long. You'll need to hurry to take advantage.
I think it's just as I've described. I think basically it's just going to slow them down a little bit by not the spell itself, but just their sort of like group inertia. Sparkles, then happens. They're running at you. They begin to slip and fall and kind of like tangle up in each other and kind of, you know, stumble over each other. What do you do, Sparkles? You're muted too, Jen. I should realize that.
Yeah, so I think I'm just gonna run up the tower. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna be like, "Thanks for singing with me," and then Yo-Yo and I just sort of get inside and run up the tower.
Yeah,
to where Isabella is.
Yeah, you can make a dash for the tower. I think they're going to be, I think like the main bulk of the crowd will be like stumbling and slipping and falling. But there are always like a couple of like, you know, raptor ones who are particularly good and agile, right? So maybe there's like a couple that are like racing forward, right? You know, give you just a divided your dexterity to get away, to get to safety.
Okay. Okay, that's 7.
You're going to get away, but you're all going to see that poor Charlie doesn't make it.
Oh, Charlie.
I'm going to give you a choice, though. This is out of character. I'll give you another roll if you want to try to save Charlie as well. Or you can just save yourself. Up to you, Sparkles. Or up to you, Jen, to decide for Sparkles.
Yeah, I'm going to try to save Charlie.
Okay. So just give me the quick fiction on that. I'm going to cut though. Just think about how you're going to
Okay.
maybe like once you see that Charlie's in imminent danger, maybe you just now see him, decide like how you spin on your heels, try to help him, and then run back up or whatever. So
Okay.
back in the tower. So you heard this person scuttling around up top. They just sound like they're going about their business, basically, like mumbling to themselves and moving around. Weary, what do you do?
I might try to incapacitate them, then like be in the shadows and skulking around all thiefy like, and yeah, try to take them out, judo chop them,
Okay, so you're gonna sneak up and okay, I like that. Give me a defy danger dexterity to get up there without being noticed.
Okay. Let's see if. Oh, just clicking on them re-rolls it. Does it? I think it did that time anyway. I clicked on both of them and now they're both 4s. So I don't know. I guess I rolled an 8.
Yep.
Plus 3.
So it's a 10.
Yeah.
You're gonna be able to sneak up, no problem. This is pretty standard stuff for you, right? You can sneak up the stairs. You get up to what appears to be like an office and living quarters. There's like a little bed. There's a desk. There's a shelf with some books and scrolls and things. Maybe a little table with like the evening's dinner still kind of half eaten on it. And you see that old man that I described before. Gray hair, simple gray, homespun robe or whatever. No shoes, just kind of like mumbling. Like he looks like he's like talking to himself, like he's working over some words in his mind. He also has a half-written letter on the table, like he's getting ready to write. He's in the middle of writing a letter. But you'll see all that as you kind of like sneak up, right? You've got the jump on him. What do you do?
I'm torn. I wanted to incapacitate him, but if he's the person that I think is like he's kind of like the quote unquote protector person that I'm seeing, right? Like who's constantly coming and going from this place.
Yeah. I mean, you don't know his precise role, but what you suspect,
I think rather than incapacitating him right away, then I'd like to remain in the shadows and do like a like scope the place out and him out to try to like suss out the truth of him in this place instead.
I like that. You can do a DR, and if Rucker doesn't care, you can take his +1 forward from the move since you helped with it.
Sure.
Okie dokie. Oh, I got 2 4s again. So that's a 8 plus. Is it either one is 0? So 8. Or 9, I guess.
With the plus 9. Yeah. One question.
Let's see. Discern. What here is not what it appears to be.
Oh, good. You hear while you're up there, this is, over the course of a few minutes, Rucker, you're just kind of hanging back, maybe you're in the stairway, like while this is going on. But you will hear like a stamping on the roof, right? And this must be like at the top of the tower, right? You're going to hear stamping and there's a thunder crack, and then there's like a loud bleating sort of sound, like and then like the stamping, and whatever it is, it sounds really big. And he says, yes, my lord, I hear you. It's, and he kind of like goes and he kind of like begins futzing with some things on the shelf, right? And so it actually like is an indication that like he serves the creature, right?
Yeah, I got that. I don't like that because that doesn't jive with what I told Rutger. But he is drunk.
Indeed.
Look upon it fondly, Rutger.
Do you take that information back to Rutger? Because you may have been the one who heard like this precise words that he said, like, or what do you do?
I think instead I tell Rutger that the one who commands the beast is tormenting him even now.
That's what that noise was.
Yeah, the noise, the bleeding was the commands from the evil one just above.
Poor creature.
Exactly.
This all feels so illicit.
Rutger just brings that to the story naturally, you know. But I say, I am not sure how powerful he is, but I'm sure if you and I work together, we could overpower him.
Very well, Twilight Reaver and I stand ready. Let us do this deed.
Indeed. Cutting back to Sparkles. Sparkles, you're getting ready to make your mad dash, and maybe you do kind of like, circle around to where you need to be, and then you see that, out of the corner of your eye, you see Charlie stumbling around drunk, and they're going to get him. He's not going to get away unless you help him.
Mm-hmm. I'm wondering if I can do a volley to kind of like give him cover fire. Or should I just go and grab him?
I don't think he knows what's going on. Like he's like,
okay, all right,
right. Like he's not making any moves that indicate he's got a self-preservation instinct right now. So.
Okay, well, in that case, I'm gonna kind of just I'm gonna go and just kind of yell, "Charlie, I'm coming," and then I'm gonna go grab him and then just kind of drag him up the tower.
I like that. He will resist you because he's a little out of it. He doesn't quite know who you are. He doesn't know why you're dragging him. Really, you are his preservation instinct right now.
Yeah.
Give me a defy danger strength to escape.
Woo! All right, that's a 10.
Nice. Give me the scene. How do you get up to safety with Charlie? At least up to where Isabella is.
So like I'm kind of dragging him along. I'm like, come on, Charlie, and then Yo-Yo kind of like goes down and gets a flask out of my pocket and then just kind of dangles it in front of Charlie. And Charlie kind of is like, oh, and so like he's a little more into the idea.
Pliable. You can drag him a little more easily. Yeah.
So I'm just like, yeah, Charlie, come on, we're gonna have a drink up this tower. It's gonna be fun. And so and then we go up to Isabella and I'm like, hey, this is Charlie. I don't know. I just met him yesterday, and we just ran into each other at the fish parade, and isn't that nice? This is Isabella. I met her today, Charlie. Here, have your booze.
Charlie is I think his main distinguishing feature is, I think part of the problem with Charlie is, I think he's blind in one eye, so he's got like one milky white blind eye, and his hearing is not that good. He's pretty easy to take by surprise. He's also, I think, drunk and a little crazy. And he's kind of, he just looks like a lot of people in the city, just kind of, tattered, filthy clothes and, greasy hair. And missing a couple teeth too. Isabella, the fish parade, like kind of clamors. They form up at the base of the tower for a little bit. They get a little confused. They don't know like what happened or what's going on, and they eventually reform up and they just continue down the path. So, so what do you guys do?
I just kind of, I think I just pat Sparkles on the head, and then just like get Charlie to like sit down. Like he probably needs to sleep though. And then like and I'll kind of like nod my head so me and Sparkles can go inside. Kind of
set him down on the invisible stairs.
Yeah, I kind of laughing to myself about like when he wakes up, like what a hangover,
Right. Yeah. Do you put him like fairly low down on the stairs in case he tumbles off? He doesn't get hurt so bad.
I put him up against like the back of the tower, like his back to the back of the tower. And...
Okay. All right. Yeah. Just operate quickly, so before he wakes up, I think is the key. So you guys can go into the base of the room, and you'll kind of see Rucker's or that room. Or you'll see Rucker like half of his body like in the stairwell, and presumably Weary's up further ahead. Sparkles, what do you do when you guys get up there?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go up to Rutgers and say, "Hey, the guards are gone. What's going on up here?"
Yeah, Rucker, do you make her be quiet?
I like cover a third of her face with one finger. Very quiet, child. Weary is doing his thing up there, and there appears to be other people. You need to be like mice.
You said this was like a really low ceiling room, right?
It is. Yeah, it's quite low.
I like wave Rutger over, and like I hear the like clumping of feet like right above me, and I'm just like, just pull them through.
Pull.
Well, Weary, you're on point here with this guy. What are you doing?
Yeah, if I know that he's the one, or at least one of the people that can command the beast, I'll definitely try to take him out.
Okay. If you watch him for a moment from your hiding spot, you'll see he has the brand on his neck. It's the normal Omega style brand of the Phantom Court. Not that weird, funny one over the door.
What I want to do is kill him, but in such a way that he'll die very slowly so I can talk to him.
You want to subdue him, it sounds like, and then maybe
I want to make sure that he'll die, but I want like it to be like a gut thing where it'll be like a 10-minute thing, so I can be like, you
want to have the dying scene.
Yeah,
I hear you. We'll just describe what you do.
I think I come up behind him and I have a blade in one hand, and I'm not sure exactly about physiology, but like kidney or gut him or whatever,
sure,
right?
Yeah.
In such a way that I know that he'll take a while to bleed out. And after it's pierced, I put my arm around his neck and say, speak quickly. Your life is draining as we speak. What?
Let's back up. So I'm gonna give you the free like stab because you've done enough sneaking and stuff, and he's kind of like a doddering old man. So so you go up and you basically just stick him, and he's like, and then and so you say like, why should he talk to you? I guess is what I want to know.
Well, I envision having the knife still in there, and I'll just twist it to cause more pain if he doesn't speak.
That's, I guess. Oh, do we have to deal with a terrible party? God, worse.
I think I have whatever it is, parlay these, right?
That's leverage.
Leverage.
Definitely leverage. I mean, this move is broken. I don't care what anybody says. Leverage is something they need or want. Okay, they don't want to be in pain. On a hit, they ask you. Okay, good. All right, we'll roll charisma and see how it goes.
Okay, charisma is. Oh, I'm good at that. Let's see, nice. Oh yeah, I got a 11.
So you want answers? Good. Yeah. Let's take a quick 3 or 4 minute break. We'll come back and we'll pick this up. Okay.
Mm-hmm. 3 weeks until the new Blade Runner comes out.
Are we all here? Jen, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Cool. Let's just pick up that scene. Now that the man is subdued and in pain and being threatened by Weary, you can all enter the space and be in the scene if you wish. Okay, like if you want to question or do whatever. So, if you want to do something else, you can tell me that too. But in any case, Weary has snuck up and he's stuck this guy and subdued him, stick the dagger in him, and what do you say?
I say, I hold your life in my hand, speak quickly, and you will have my mercy. If not, and I twist the blade a little bit, you'll have this instead.
And he cries out and he says, "What would you have me speak? What do you want to know?"
Tell us of the Phantom Court. Because I don't think I've ever really been able to speak to one, right? Like, they've always had me at a disadvantage instead.
And he's, you know, he kind of like laughs a little bit and he says, what do you want to know? It is an organization steeped in ancient history. Where shall I begin, sir?
Why do you hunt the Shadow Court?
And he kind of laughs and says, "You are asking me to answer a question that has no single answer, but you should know that it's the war that takes place every day."
He seems pretty
out.
carefree, right?
I mean, I assume you're sticking him with a knife, and like, you know, I'm kind of just skipping past the bits where he screams and you torture him or whatever. Right?
Oh, okay.
I'm getting to the bits where he's just talking to you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be more specific. What do you want to know? I don't think he like where shall he begin?
Right.
And Rutger, you thought you were there to kill a monster up top.
Yeah, I'm out of character. I'm torn between, you know, Fraser getting to do his thing that he seems like he wants to do and playing my character. So I've kind of hung back.
What? I don't.
You're twisting a knife inside a dude. Yeah, Rutger will actually say, perhaps Weary, this is not what we need to kill the monster. It just seems a little. He's an old man. What exactly? He's no threat to you.
And I think at that point, the old man says, "Kill the monster? Is that what you're here to do? Are you here to slay Ungoliant?"
Yes.
And he just says, You know nothing. But you should know that if you attempt it, it will be the last thing you ever attempt.
Why is that? Tell us its weakness, and I twist the blade.
He says, "Why would you kill such a beast? Do you think it's some threat to you? Is it harming you in some way? What is your motivation?"
Don't lie to us. We know that the beast is a threat to everyone, especially the church.
And it's not, what you're saying is not jibing with his understanding. And he will say, "You know nothing about Ungoliant. You think he is some terrible beast that is a threat to the world. I don't know what you think. But he is the Lord of the Phantom Court. He cannot be so easily destroyed."
The Lord of the Phantom Court? Okay. That's a sidewinder.
Weary, it seems perhaps your stories are mistaken about this creature.
If anything, it seems that the beast is more of a threat than ever if it is the Lord of the Phantom Court, which has already set creatures and people against us throughout this journey already.
By us, you mean you, my friend, and yes.
No, you know that they sent the creatures against us. They had the brand, and they were being controlled by the
They were
Phantom.
going after you, though. To be clear,
Well, they were. I don't think that we established that, right?
he says he hasn't seen you yet, Weary, right? He says, who are you holding this knife to my side? Who is going to take my life so quickly and mercifully? Who am I speaking to?
You speak to a member of the Shadow Court that you have hunted for all his life. That is all you need to know.
He says, Are you here in Bellet to visit your lord as well?
What? I don't have a lord in Bellet. I am from the Shadow Court.
If you are from the Shadow Court, you certainly do. Set here thousands of years ago, the great demons who call themselves the Knights Panoptic, set to watch over Bellet, but in truth watching over the entire world, establish their courts so that they can make alliances with one another, war with each other. It goes on and on and on. Your lord is Atalok, the Secret Spider. She lives in a cathedral in the North District. Go introduce yourself to her. But end this. I grow weary of this conversation.
Yeah, okay, well, yeah, the blade slips up and pierces his heart, maybe. Like, to kill him.
And he falls down dead.
Fear not, Rutger. That is a mercy killing. He was in a lot of pain and deserved to die. Don't believe his lies. The beast is a threat to everybody, and we are doing good here.
This sounds like we're really getting dragged into some business that we have no reason to mess with. And I do not see any tomes of ancient knowledge around here.
Well, he's got to have stuff around here if he's like Phantom Court Fibonacci.
You can certainly search his little abode here, for sure. Mm-hmm. But now that he's dead, you're not getting any more answers out of him, individually.
Well, his answers were problematic for me anyway. So.
But to be clear, just out of character to recap, what he told you before you killed him, almost like taunting you, right, is that the lords of at least the Phantom Court and the Shadow Court, and maybe other courts, live in Bellet, and Ungoliant is the lord of the Phantom Court, and there's a secret spider, Atalok, who's the lord of the Shadow Court. Really the lady of the Shadow Court. And they live here, and they war against each other. And they have...
I know those names. They sound really familiar.
Indeed. Huh. Spout lore.
Yeah, I want to do that. Cool. 6.
Indeed. A 6. Good. I think at this point, while you're all having this conversation and trying to puzzle out what this man just said, who you just killed quite in a very summary way, you begin to hear like that heavy stamping on the roof, like a pow, 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 and the masonry is beginning to like crumble down a little bit over where you guys are at, and you hear that strange bleeding, that like it kind of echoes out, and then the cracks of lightning and thunder, and it's just like bah, bah, and you can see the masonry starting to bust. Rugger, what do you do?
I think perhaps we should go. What do you think about that, friends?
Yeah.
We are here for a mission.
I do not have business with this being.
Okay.
I'm happy to see what this guy has to say.
You might be doing that on your own.
And that's why you are a denizen of Bellet.
It sounds like part of the group is, at least 2 of the members of the group are running. What about you, Weary and Sparkles?
Yeah, it's true that this isn't what I was expecting at all. So maybe I'll leave with them and regroup and say that, the Phantom Court has many lies, but I believe we should suss out the truth of this until.
Aw, you guys are no fun.
Well, what is no fun is being dead.
That is true.
For now, let's just go back and perhaps have some more absinthe and regroup.
Sounds good.
You may run safely down the invisible steps, grab Charlie, and make your way down to the square. As you do so, if you turn back, you're going to see Ungolian standing to his full height at the top of the tower. He is he's a Dark Souls sized beast. Stands on two legs, has a sort of like an elk head, like with long, flared back horns, muscular, powerful, sort of like vaguely man-shaped hands and arms, and the lightning that occasionally cracks catches on his horns, almost like lightning rods, right? Like he's the focus point of it, right? And he's very tall. He's got to be at least 20 feet tall.
Yeah, let's not.
Running was maybe not the worst idea.
And you can scuttle back to the safety of the fancy pony. I need to plug in my computer. Hold on.
We probably need a special sword to take on that boss anyway, right?
Consult the Twilight Reaver. This is your destiny, Rutger. Once you guys get back to the fancy pony, I'm just going to go around the table and find out what you're doing. It's fairly late at this point, Isabella.
Yeah, I think I would just be calling it a night probably at this point. Though I wouldn't be surprised if Rook were hiding somewhere about.
Yeah, we might. We can have the scene if you want. I'll leave it up to you. We'll talk about it in a minute. What about you? Let's see where everybody else is. Weird.
Yeah, I think that he would be just going back to the room and trying to piece together some of the information to see if any of it is truth or not, and such.
Yeah, we can talk about that maybe. Sparkles, what about you? You are muted, Sparkles, if you are trying to communicate with us.
Yes. Hey, Rutger, would you like to go and play for teeth over here with these old men?
I'd rather not, little one. It's late. Perhaps you're a nocturnal creature, but I am not. I think I'm going to retire for the evening. You don't think you'll get in any trouble, do you?
Oh, certainly. Certainly.
Was that an answer? That was the most ambiguous answer ever.
Are you saying you will get into trouble?
Yeah, want to have fun?
Is this the kind of fun where you murder an old man?
No.
No, I've had enough of that tonight.
No, I'm going to go buy some cheese.
Will the cheese not be there in the morning?
We don't know. It's really uncertain. I just know where the cheese is now. It might move.
Sounds like you're going to retire to bed, Rucker.
Good. Best of luck to your cheese search. I will see you in the morrow.
All right.
And Rucker's going to bed.
Isabella, do you want to see him with Rook, or do we want to just go to the next day?
We can just go to the next day.
Okay. It is the next day, and the principal complaint that you hear from other guests, it's a pretty big inn, other guests and other people down below waiting on their breakfast is there's no one there to serve them. There's no one tending the bar. There's no one serving food. Everyone's very confused. Some people are just like walking along that little marked out track on the floor. They're just like walking with their heads down, like making the little path around the tavern because they don't know what else to do.
But there are piles of cheese on every table.
Did you find some cheese? Good, yeah. And you get a constant like, but how can we eat it when Sarafa is not here to serve it? A lot of that, right? The innkeep nowhere to be found. But it's the next day. Isabella, what do you get up to?
We need to move along with this mission, perhaps visit that boy to make sure he's all right. I'll be pushing for one or both of those things and see what everyone else is getting up to.
Yeah, if you guys want, you can all be gathered in tavern unless you want to do something else. Who else is there with Isabella eating cheese? Plenty of it, by the way.
Yeah, I'm there and very amenable to leaving to do why we came here.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Weary, you should try this blue brie. It's quite delicious.
Yeah, I'll try it.
Weary, what are you thinking right now? You've been given. You were on the precipice of learning something really, really important, and you killed the guy.
Well, I don't know. It sounded kind of like what he was saying was a bunch of lies anyway.
You think it was fishy?
He's the only one who's telling the truth.
Yeah, well, yeah, I don't know. I think like as I eat my cheese, I suppose I'm like visibly troubled and thinking, but I think that like I'll still want to do the mission with everybody, but on the side or at some point I'll definitely want to take the old man up on his offer and go looking for my own lord in this cathedral.
Yeah, that was interesting, right? That's super interesting.
It's one way to see if even like a facet of his story is true or not,
Yeah.
And it's presumably in the city too, so
yeah. Okay, well, so Rucker and Sparkles, anything else you guys want out of this little meeting at the in the tavern, or Isabella wants to just get going on the mission and/or go to find the boy who repeats the numbers. Sparkles, what are you up to? Are you with this motley band now? Like,
why am I with this motley band now?
Yeah, or what you're thinking? Like, are they just your new best friends or what?
Well, I'm quite attached to Rutger because he saved me from a vampire.
True, he did.
And
ferocious vampire.
A ferocious, evil, dark vampire. And so I'm just kind of tagging along because I kind of owe him a debt in that way. And I've had trouble making friends in the city thus far, and so I'm just going to see where this leads me. And so there's this book that y'all are looking for, and I'm curious about that. I'm just curious about what you guys are doing, because I hardly ever see anyone, with like drives or motives, because that doesn't really exist so much in Bellet. Nobody's really nobody ever really wants anything, so to speak. There are obsessions, but that's a different story, where y'all are working together to get something, and that intrigues me. So it's not something I've seen before. So I'm just hanging along.
Rucker, how are you feeling about the fact that Weary committed murder and probably lied to you about what you guys were doing in the tower? What the nature of what was going on there?
Disappointed in both. Murder is a thing that happens.
True.
But you violated a bit of my trust.
Well, I mean, to be fair though, after seeing the beast on the roof, and obviously the two being connected, you can tell that at least the guy isn't like a nice old man who is going to just like go visit his grandchildren or anything, right? He's connected to like a huge evil beast with arcing lightning bolts and things.
You told Rutger the beast was like a poor creature that was a slave. It's a dark lord.
That may have been wrong, but they're still both evil, clearly.
There's different motivations, I think. Nevertheless, you all have a mission. Vigreet is staying here at the inn. She's right here. She has rooms here at the Flouncy Pony. You have not seen Vigreet or heard word of Vigreet being talked to down in the tavern. It sounds like maybe they're a bit of a recluse. But nevertheless, they're here. You can probably figure out where. And they're your one contact as far as all that goes. What do you do?
Yeah, if it's as easy as that, we'll find Vigreet here. And at least get the ball rolling on that.
Mm-hmm. For sure. I'm done with that.
Good. So the tricky thing is, if Sarafa were around, you could just ask, where's Vigreet? Which room, right? There's probably about 24 rooms. She's not. And so I guess the next step I'd want to know is like, Isabella, how do you go about finding out where Vigreet is? Like which room she's staying in?
I'll just knock on all the doors. Ask.
Okay, until you find the right one. Good. A lot of empty rooms. You eventually get to, you've checked most of the doors, or maybe you check this one, get no response. You come back and check the rest, and you go back to this one. And this door, you knock on it, and you kind of hear like this moan, like a ghostly moan. It's like, oh. And a cockroach skitters out beneath the crack of the door.
Rutger, can you open this door?
Of course. I'll open the door.
It's not locked, so you can just like go in.
Oh, okay. I thought he was going
no need to bash it down or anything. No. You can open the door, and inside you're going to see quite a sight. It's a suite of rooms, so like, two good-sized bedrooms kind of connected up in terms of size. And there are shelves and little pedestals all around that have bugs in jars and glass cloches. So there's pedestals with like little glass domes with like butterflies, but alive, flitting around in the glass domes. And on the shelves, you see jars with like centipedes crawling out of them. There are moths flittering here and there. The floor, as you step in, there's a distinct crunch beneath your boots as you step on all manner of millipedes and cockroaches and ladybugs and things, all just kind of skittering about on the floor. The room is very dimly lit by a single a lantern with a red glow, like a red glass lantern. And as you're kind of like stepping into the room, you just see this collection of bugs crawling everywhere on the floor, some of them in displays. And at the far end, in the darkness, you see a person sitting in a chair. Can't quite make out their details, though. Rutger, you're first in. What do you do?
We are looking for Vigreet. Are you them?
I am Vigreet. Why would you come to consult with one such as me?
I'll allow Isabella to better at talking to spooky people.
Well, I was going to suggest maybe we defer to Sparkles because I like to think that this might be polite society in Bellet. I don't know.
Maybe the church sent us.
Yeah, but we're in Bellet.
In any case,
So we see.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like, yeah. I just say that. I'm just like, the church sent us.
But does the church know what kind of danger you are in right now? For I am a lich.
They told us to meet with you. What?
In the darkness, you see a pair of desiccated skeletal hands moving up and down from this figure sitting in the chair, moving up and down very robotically, just like this.
Robotically.
Well, like kind of stiffly, right?
But they don't stop either, right?
Have stared at the black gate of death and said, "No more," and returned, ever living. My soul housed in a dark phylactery.
I turn to look at my companions. I'm like, this is our contact?
I go up to Vigreet and I bow before her and I say, "It is quite a pleasure to meet you, my dear Vigreet, Lich Queen of the Insect Kingdom. How are you today?"
Very good. As you get closer, you'll see that in the dim light, you'll see that Vigreet is basically a sort of Norma Bates skeleton sitting in a chair. There's a large, bulky cloak over the skeleton and the chair, and there are hands moving up and down that are clearly being operated by little sticks, like a puppet, right? By a person hiding underneath the cloak, moving the hands up and down. And the skull has like a couple of little candles in it, so it looks like there's scary undead energy flowing through the skull, right? And she says, "Yes, little one. Yes, why have you come to seek my dark knowledge? What terrible fell wisdom can I bestow upon you?"
"We seek the Book of Secret Keys. Do you know of this book?"
The Book of Keys. I'm like, the hands stop momentarily. There's a bit of silence while the person operating the lich puppet is clearly thinking about what to say. "Yes, yes, I have stared deep into the blackness of the abyss, and I have seen what you are looking for. The book, the 10 hidden keys." That's the name, so that's true. "I may know something about it, but the question is, what will you do to extract this dark knowledge from me?"
Well, we could do what Weary did yesterday.
Not
Perhaps
a fan.
Perhaps I can owe you a favor, or we can do some service for you.
I could bring you cheese.
Or you can give me a bit of business. I have not paid for my lodging in some days, and the mortal known as Sarafa has grown most disquieted.
Yeah, I wonder where she is. How about that? We can do that for you.
How much are your rooms?
I have, in my terrible, immortal folly, racked up a debt of some 65 coin. A dark price that must be paid if I am to continue with my illicit work.
That sounds agreeable.
I think we can handle that.
So what do you do, Isabella?
I've got the coin. I'll just drop a sack of coins like on the ground. And I'm like, and the book.
Think you that the great, all-powerful sorcerer requires your charity, woman? No. You must make a purchase. And then, like, points her skeletal hand at various bugs scattered together.
If you have the book, I'll buy the book.
I do not have the book, but I have the knowledge, the dark knowledge of its location.
Then consider that the purchase.
And then, like, the hands go a little limp. Are you sure you don't want to buy a bug?
I'll buy a bug. I'll take something that seems pretty cool, and I'll give it to Rutger as a present for me being sad.
Yo-Yo is chewing on a cockroach. Yo-Yo's just like on the floor chewing on a cockroach.
I suppose we purchased that as well then.
Some cool bug for Rutger as apology.
Each of you pick a bug in a jar and decide so you know what you're leaving with.
Ooh, I know. It'll be like
little clay jars that you take them home in with holes.
I think like Rutger, I always picture as sort of like childish or like innocent, right? So I like some kind of bug that is like glowing, like a glow bug that would fascinate a child is what I get.
Sounds like an insult.
No, I don't mean it that way. I just think that it's interesting and like.
Will this bubble appease you, Rutger?
Well,
you can kill more old men now. That's fine.
it's a gesture of sorts, right?
It is a gesture.
I see a Frostdale corpse reaver spider, and I'm just like,
oh, nice. Yeah.
I'm like, you probably don't need to have this anywhere near you.
Yeah, it's an adolescent, like really small, fit in a jar, right?
Yeah, I'm just like, how did he get this?
You can put that in your gear. You can each just pick a bug in a jar and put it in your gear. Just tell me what the bug is. It can be as fantastic or as mundane as you wish. Baby corpse reaver spider for Isabella. Done. Native to your lands of Frostdale, right?
Yeah. Like, I feel like I'm taking scissors away from a child right now.
It's true, too, yeah. And it feels like a little bit of home, too, right? So it's good. Weary, what kind of bug do you get? Oh, you bought one for Rutger.
Yeah. Oh, I think it's just called like a glow fly or something like that.
Good. What about you, Sparkles? Do you pick out a bug?
Yeah, I think I'm getting like a ghost moth. It's like it sort of goes between being corporeal. Well, it's always corporeal, but sometimes it can become like you see its wings flutter in different ways, and it looks kind of ghostly, and it does have like a ghostly glow to it. But it sort of looks just like a Luna moth, but like with kind of hundreds of wings all at once.
Oh, I like that. And Rutger, you were gifted a glow fly, but you can choose a bug of your own as well to gift or keep as you wish.
Excellent. There's a 6-winged beetle that is in a jar that is interesting to me. So
nice. Yes. You have completed the Dark Pact. I have seen this book. It was in my possession for a time. But the terrible being Saratha required more payment, and so I was forced to sell it to another. And then she says, the book is in the possession of Baroness Lucretia Prigg in the Noble District.
Do you know this person, Sparkles?
And then Vigreet says, and now I must go and commune with the Dark Ones. Leave unless You wish to invite a taint upon your souls. And then the hands go down, and the lights, little candle lights, snuff out of the skull. And you can hear a distinct noise of someone eating a sandwich underneath the cloak.
Okay. I'll leave respectfully.
Crunch, crunch on beetles and bugs.
Back out the door slowly.
I want to check on Sarafa. She hasn't been around.
She's not been around yet. Well, yeah, that's true. Let me give you a name too, so you have that. Yeah, you probably know where rooms are because you have a familiarity with the inn. You can go to her room. It's probably it's not on the main floor where the rooms are. It's down below, attached to the kitchen, right? What do you do?
Yeah, I'm gonna go down to the room, Sarafa. I'm gonna be like, hey, let's check on the innkeep. She seems to be different than she was yesterday, and that happens quite regularly in this town. But let's just check on her very briefly. I think it would be the nicest and good thing to do. She might be ill. Come along, Rutger.
Just look at Sparkles and I just walk the other way. I don't care.
No concern for Sarafa. Why? Why would you?
Well, if she is harmed, Isabella, it's important. We should at least check for this. Plus, it's part of the Vigreet. Vigreet needs to pay rent, and if Sara's not there, then no rent will be paid. What do you think? Perhaps just.
We have what we need.
Wasted on more bugs. Who knows, right? Any number of things.
We have what we need here. It's no concern of ours anymore. But do what you will. I will check on the child.
You're gonna go check on the child. I like that. Weird. What about you?
I'm torn. I don't know. Like out of game. I don't know if it's the right time to go to the cathedral or not. It might be good to keep on a single path right now and not.
Yeah, out of character. It sounds like more of a it definitely sounds like more like a finale session thing. I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe I'll just tag along to the child as well.
Okay, sounds good. You get to her room is there. There's no light peeking out from underneath the door, she's got something stuffed there. What do you do?
Sarafa!
Leave me be. Leave me be unless you wish. Unless you want me to feed on you.
Oh, Sarafa, you have such a beautiful sense of humor, and I just kind of barge in.
No, no, no. Do not let the sunlight cross the threshold of the door. And you can see her pushed up against the wall, as the light enters the room, right? Totally dark in there.
Now, Sarafa, you seem to be acting like our old friend Greymantle. This is not right. You are not a vampire. Stop this.
She looks at Rutger and says, "A warrior, a vampire hunter, no doubt. Have you come to end me, sir?"
That is not my plan.
I would that you will. How long have I had to endure this torment? How long have I had to feel this cold blood flowing through my veins? I've seen my friends, my family, grow old and wither away in front of me. Centuries I have had to endure this heartache while I stay young, cold-blooded, feral. End me. And she kind of puts her chest out, Rutger, she wants you to stab her in the chest.
Is that gem somewhere?
Are you looking around for it? It's probably on her person, just because Alastair kept it on his person. It's
right.
On her person.
I'm gonna have kind of send Monkey to pickpocket her to get that gem back.
Oh, very interesting. Is that a thing that within, I guess, like it could just, is there like a specific animal move thing here we're doing, or is it just like a
No, it's
sort
just
of
it's a
dividing
fictional
animal?
thing. I can
Okay,
like
got it.
do dexterity.
Yeah, I just want to make sure there's nothing like specific that the monkey could do.
No.
But you do get a bonus because this is kind of a cunning thing, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Give me the setup. What does it look like? What do you do?
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of just um, I'm gonna go up to her and like kind of like like just kind of stand in front of her, and I'm just going to be like, now, Sarafa, we've been friends for many years, and this is the first time you've ever mentioned being a vampire. I figure it would have come up before. I remember we've spent many a sunny day in the park. Now tell me what's going on. And meanwhile, like Yo-Yo is kind of like um, sneaking up behind her and kind of searching her person and looking for this gem.
I think it's a charisma roll, as you've
Okay.
described it.
And would I add cunning or?
Yeah, you can add the cunning.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, that's 10.
So we'll keep the scene going just a tiny bit. She says, "Yes, Sparkles, I was there the day you were born, and I will be there the day you die. I will watch you grow old. Even the long lives of the halflings will not outlast me." And then she looks at you, Rutger, with tears like streaming down her face. Not, there are tears streaming down her face, and she says, "See my blood red tears. See how this pains me, vampire hunter, how I must endure watching my friends wither away. End it. End me, please, I beg of you."
The people downstairs need someone to serve their drinks. They're very upset. Perhaps you could return to work.
And then maybe that's when the monkey like grabs it. And she says, "Return to work?"
Yes.
Yes, yes. And she kind of like, stumbles like forward towards you, Rucker, like she can't quite stand up of her own strength. And she says, I fear the light. Will you help me?"
Of course.
And there's a bit of like tentativeness, like she doesn't want to cross the threshold of where the light pours in through the doorway. What does that look like when you kind of get her over?
Oh, I reach into that pouch where I had the dirt from before, and I sprinkle some dirt there. There's some magical dirt. You're fine now.
Yes, yes. Dirt from the grave from which I rose, where I return to sleep every night, correct? Yes?
Exactly that.
Good. And she takes like a slow, tentative step on the dirt. And as long as you can keep creating that path of dirt, she'll follow you, and she'll be back to her normal self by the time she gets to the bar, ready to serve drinks and wondering, what's going on here. Isabella, where is the boy being kept? Presumably right?
Yeah. I don't know who has him, who we trust here to keep track of him and keep him safe, but
maybe there's an orphanage.
A Bellet Osk orphanage? That sounds awful.
Or you can name an NPC. I'm cool with that too.
Yeah.
Think about it. I'm gonna take a quick bio break.
Okay.
Is Virgo Strider from an anime?
The picture?
Mm.
I don't know. I just was looking for a white-haired witch and found this.
Pinterest?
Just image search on Google.
Mm. Hey, Rich, are you gonna do 1%er PSP?
PSP. Oh, I could. Sure. I mean, we've got quite a few on the feed, so I could work on it.
How many? You've done 3 series of it?
2 Gauntlet City Limits and then 1 non-Gauntlet City Limits. Yeah.
Mm.
Like, I think 11 sessions. Maybe not quite 11. Like 5, 2, and 2. But then we did a third. So 10 sessions. But two different gangs, so you could easily take maybe the one or the other. I have to go back. I'm not sure which one I would want to do. David, you've been affiliated with which of the series you think was maybe the best?
I don't know. I don't remember the one that was a real long time ago as well as I remember the one that was more recent. So I'm kind of just like more inclined for that one. I think that most recent one was really interesting.
I did too. I did too.
Probably that one.
Was that the one that I was in, or or is it after that?
I think it was after that.
You were in a Gauntlet City Limit one, right?
Yeah, you were in the second Gauntlet City Limit. He was.
Yeah, this was a non-Gauntlet City Limit one.
The Gauntlet City one was good. It was interesting watching Fraser play a gang member.
yeah, I'm not very good at being intimidating, that's for sure.
Yeah, what was the main thing that happened in the Gauntlet City Limit one?
So in the first Gauntlet City Limit one, there was a big blowout with another gang, like where you guys blew up their school and then they came back after you, and it ended with the church where you'd hold up all of your friends and family to hide them out that had been attacked. That was mostly what went on in the first one.
And the second one was doing like a drug deal.
Yeah, it was a really big drug deal with the heroin that you got from the first one. So it was a really good follow. There was a lot going on in the most recent one because we had 5 sessions. We really got a chance to dedicate stuff.
Yeah, that might be the best one in the fact that, like, with the current PSP model, you can kind of pick and choose which stories you want to tell. So that one might give you the best framework if you're going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel like we're at something of a good stopping point, just in the story, and also because we're near time. So, just tell me real quickly, Isabella, where did you keep the boy, so I can make a note of that?
I think that he is being kept in a clock tower, and seemed appropriate. He seems to be happy there, and I think that we have just like somebody like the church. Somebody who's not affiliated with the church, like we're paying for them to like keep him here. Like it's not like a Bellet Oskian necessarily. He's like a normal person.
I can figure out the details there during the intercession, but that feels like a good place to stop. So let's do the end of session move. Right. Let's find that move.
Man, no one's getting XP this time. We're all just have Shane to thank for all the successes. And I guess your guys' dice is
yes, there were some good dice rolls in it. End of session. I feel like everybody hit flags. There was lots of flag hitting going on. Does anybody think they didn't hit a flag or? Okay. So everyone mark an XP there. There's lots of good flag stuff going on, which is great. Alignment, let's just run through those real quickly. Might be a tough alignment session. Isabella, what was yours? Use magic to cause terror and fear.
Yeah, I didn't do mine.
That didn't happen. Rutger, defeat a worthy opponent. You defeated Aloyster Greymantle. I don't think he counts as a worthy opponent, sadly. Weary, destroy a symbol of the church. No, not really.
What about that? What about that ruin?
No. Sparkles, help an animal or spirit of the wild. No, that didn't really happen either. Let's go to the group questions.
Or is Charlie a spirit animal?
Let's see.
Or an animal?
Let's see. Group questions.
Yeah, Charlie is a spirit of Bellet.
Yeah.
The wild of Bellet.
He's really full of spirits.
An animal of this particular wilderness.
You know, I'm almost convinced here, just because he's a part of your wilderness, I suppose. Let's think about it. Let's finish the rest. Okay, let's see here. Did we learn something new and important about the world? Yeah, actually, mark an XP. Did we overcome a notable monster or enemy? I don't think so, but I do. Well, I think yes. I think the whole sequence with the fish parade was quite good, and I think that counts. So go ahead, mark an XP. Did we loot a memorable treasure? Yeah, the little stone that makes you think you're a vampire. I think that's pretty good. So mark an XP there. As far as
the stone is doing that, I had no idea that was the stone. I did not make that connection at all. I was just like, these Bellet skins, you know.
No, now the monkey thinks he's a vampire.
Exactly. Like, where's the stone, right? Yeah. It's
well, I have it now.
Good. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm into the idea of like you helping this denizen of the wilderness of Bellet. I'm kind of into that. Sparkles. I think it's in the spirit of the alignment statement. Good. I don't have a whole lot of time to debrief because I've got to plan another game right after this. I'm going to make time at the end of next session to do a full debrief. But in the meantime, I just want to say that I had a good time. I encourage you guys to go debrief if you wish. And also, I probably have space in my game later today because Garrett's having internet or computer issues.
He's having the worst luck.
Yeah, he's having a lot of computer issues. So he just told me about it late last night. So let me check right now. If anybody wants to join us, I think there's space. I'm going to check right now.
While you're checking that, I wanted to remind you that I have to cut out an hour early next session. If you want me to bail and bring somebody else in, I understand, but I will be here for the first 2 hours.
We'll find you a stopping point. Okay, so it looks like Brian Burnley got auto RSVP'd because Garrett changed his. I'll try to get in touch with that guy. But if anybody wants to join us, I'll ping. I might ping the Slack like maybe 10 or 15 minutes before if anybody wants to join. Okay. So, it's a great game. Hot guys making out, super fun. So, but great game, terrific session. I had a lot of fun. It was very enjoyable to play. Stop this.